There are major updates coming out of Cincinnati as the Bengals have scheduled multiple visits with college superstars that can impact the team right away. Thank you so much for watching. The Bengals, like I have mentioned, have brought in many college superstars that they are looking to draft in this upcoming draft that is less than a month away. And every single one of them could have a massive impact on how the Bengals play in 2025. As you see, there's been multiple reports. At first, this was going to be a video just talking about one guy we've scheduled with, but we have continued to schedule visits with guys. So I'm going to incorporate every guy we have scheduled a visit with into this draft, kind of, because even some guys have just got announced that I wasn't able to add to this video that I will talk about in a little bit in the future. But here are some of the reports. This is the first one, probably the name we've talked about the most. A visit scheduled. Jeez. Bengals bringing in defensive playmaker Walter Nolen ahead of the 2025 NFL Draft. Like I've said multiple times, he's my betting favorite for our round 1 pick. And then the next report, not a homer, this is an official report. Start Ohio State running back TreVeyon Henderson visiting Bengals before the NFL Draft. There's so much going on in Cincinnati right now. A bunch of Buckeyes are getting drafted. So in my last video, I had us drafting Quinshon Judkins and Jack Sawyer. Don't come at me calling me a homer when they have both scheduled visits for the Bengals. But anyways, that's nor here or there in the comment section. But, of course, I love my Buckeyes. But I should never have told you guys I was a Ohio State fan because you guys freaking assault me every time I say anything about the Buckeyes. But anyways, so what if we were to combine Walter Nolen and TreVeyon Henderson, because they're not going to be drafted in the same round. So what could the mock draft look like if you draft the players the Bengals have scheduled visits with? Let's see what that first. I have a couple of different options. So this is the first one I brought up. Walter Nolen obviously has to be your first round pick. 6'3", 305 pounds last season, 48 total tackles, 26 solo, 6.5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 passes deflected, had a PFF grade of 88.9. Then the second round, I would have us drafting a guy we're used to, safety Xavier Watts, 6 foot, 203 pounds last season, 83 total tackles, 53 solo, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 6 interceptions, 1 touchdown, pick 6, and 9 passes deflected. PFF grade-wise of 89.7. Obviously, he has the connection to our new offensive coordinator, Al Golden. Then, this is where we bring in TreVeyon Henderson. TreVeyon Henderson is graded as a round or a day 2 pick, so either round 2 or round 3, kind of leaning towards that round 3 pick. I don't understand that, but if he falls, once again, let me say this. If he falls to the 3rd round, TreVeyon Henderson would be a steal in the 3rd round. He's a very similar back to Chase Brown, but I think having 2 speedsters isn't the worst, especially with Piron back in the lineup. But running back TreVeyon Henderson from Ohio State, 5'10", 208 pounds, 144 carries, for 1,016 yards, 10 touchdowns, average 7.1 yards per carry, PFF grade-wise of 88.4 last season. He's an absolute speed demon. He has probably the most insane burst I've ever seen. And a running back, he can be running 10 miles per hour, then hit 22 in a matter of seconds. He's a speed back just like Chase Brown. And having that 1-2 punch of speed would not be terrible. Then I would have us drafting Kobe Bryant, 4th round. Kobe Bryant is going to be the mainstay. There's a lot of players that are staying the same and throughout these drafts, and there's a lot of consistency. The one that's in every single one of them is Kobe Bryant. He's a beast. I want to draft him so bad. So he is going to be my cornerback pick every single time. Obviously, last video I talked about him, but 4 interceptions, 7 passes deflected. PFF grade was 80.9. And then for the 5th round, I have us going after John Joyner, defensive edge from Minnesota, 6'5", 265 pounds. Last season, 32 total tackles, 12 solo, sacks 4.5, forced fumbles 2, passes deflected 7, which is kind of insane for an edge rusher. Then PFF grade-wise of 76.7, and then rounded off in round number 6. My favorite guard in this draft, Clay Webb from Jackson State. PFF grade-wise of 82 last season, the highest among any guard in the NFL or college football league. Sorry. The only reason he's as low as he is because he's not in a power conference. But he's an absolute beast. He was actually going up. In the Senior Bowl, he went up against Walter Nolen, and he held his own. Where Walter Nolen and Clay Webb kind of split all of the reps that they had together. So that was really good to see. If we got both of them, yeah, that would be clutch. But there's obviously so many different ways you could go about the draft. What if you don't want to get a safety that early? Maybe you want to go. Maybe you want to go after something else. Then there's another option that we could go like this. Maybe you want to protect Joe a little bit earlier on in the draft. And that was my main problem with my mock draft yesterday, was there was no guard. What if you want to protect Joe right away, but still get Walter Nolen and TreVeyon Henderson, the guys we've talked about? Then maybe you do something like this. You draft Walter Nolen, then you get Tate Ratledge from Georgia, offensive guard, PFF grade-wise of 74.4 last season. He's an absolute dog. Man's got a mullet. He is former teammates with Amarius Mims, so they already have that connection. I love Tate Ratledge. Tate Ratledge in the second round will be an absolute steal, in my opinion. I think he's a first-round grade and talent. He's such a beast. So pure talent. His footwork is amazing. His handwork is amazing. So if you want to protect Joe Burrow early on, go this route. And then you get TreVeyon Henderson still, Kobe Bryant. Then you get, if you think we still need a safety, you get Malachi Moore, who I've talked about last episode, 70 total tackles, 40 solo, 1 sack, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, 8 passes deflected, PFF grade-wise of 84.9. Malachi Moore, a lot of talent. And then John Joyner, who you could probably get to fall to the 6th round and then draft him in the 6th round. And then you're protecting Joe Burrow earlier, besides going for a guard late and getting a safety when we can get a really, really good safety in Malachi Moore really later on in the draft, who I think still has a lot of talent. But maybe you don't like either of these two options, right? You're like, I like this, but I think maybe I want a running back a little bit more. Or like, I like this, but maybe I want to focus on the running back, like I said, a little bit earlier on. Then what about, or maybe you just say, I like Quinshon Judkins more than I like TreVeyon Henderson in the Cincinnati Bengals scheme. Then do something like this. You get Walter Nolen, who he's scheduled to visit with, and who's probably going to be our first-round pick. But then you get Quinshon Judkins, who had 194 carries, 1,060 yards, 14 touchdowns, averaged 5.5 yards per carry. PFF grade is 88.8. And then what do you do in the 3rd round? Maybe you go after a linebacker. Maybe you want somebody who has a connection with Al Golden. Then you go after Jack Kaiser, 6'2", 231 pounds, 90 total tackles, 55 solo, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 pass deflected. PFF grade-wise of 83 last season. Obviously has that connection with Al Golden. And then you round out the draft, just as I did the last one, with Kobe Bryant, cornerback from Kansas, safety from Alabama, Malachi Moore, and then edge rusher to round it off, to finish off that defensive line, John Joyner from Minnesota. So there's so many avenues to go down. And I didn't even, in yesterday's draft, mock draft video, I had us getting Jack Sawyer, who was also scheduled a visit for the Cincinnati Bengals. But then also, there is Ty Hamilton, also a Buckeye, another Buckeye, who was scheduled to visit defensive tackle. So you could go after Ty Hamilton, probably round 2 or round 3. If you want to get maybe, like I did yesterday and got Mike Green first round. If you want to go after an edge first, go after Mike Green. Don't get Walter Nolen, but then get Ty Hamilton in day 2 or day 3. And then you could go like Mike Green, Quinshon Judkins, and then Ty Hamilton. Or you could go Mike Green, or maybe even Tyler Warren if he falls. Or maybe go Ashton Genty at 17, and then you get Ty Hamilton, and then you go after somebody else. There's so many different avenues, but I think I would go in between these two. This is where I'm falling right now, these two, between my 2 mock drafts that I have today, at least, what I think I would like the most. And it's hard. It is very hard to pick which one I like the most. But I think with how much I like Clay Webb and how many interceptions with 6 Xavier Watts got last season, and because Al Golden has that connection with him already, and he's a ball hawk, which fits the scheme of Al Golden, I think this right here is my perfect mock draft where I sit and the Bengals sit today. Maybe you could switch that around. You can still even switch that around and be fine with that. Or trade back. Instead of drafting Walter Nolen at 17, maybe you trade back, get two second rounders or 2 third rounders, and then you have 7 picks, and you draft Walter Nolen a little bit later, and then you can add another player to this. Maybe go after another edge, or maybe you also go after Ty Hamilton to get another defensive tackle. There's so many options, obviously, with a draft. The scenarios are endless, but with this mock draft that I have today, this is my favorite out of all of them. I would go, if I was drafting for the Bengals, as of right now, I would go Walter Nolen round 1, Xavier Watts round 2. Okay, sorry, let me repeat so give it more context. Defensive tackle from Ole Miss, Walter Nolen round 1. Safety from Notre Dame, Xavier Watts round 2. Running back from Ohio State, TreVeyon Henderson round 3. Cornerback, Kobe Bryant from Kansas round 4. John Joyner, defensive edge rusher from Minnesota round 5, and then finish it off with a guard from Jack State, Clay Webb. That is my favorite draft. That's my favorite draft right there. It's very close. This is a very close second. Very close second. The one reason why I lean more this one is because Xavier Watts has that connection with Al Golden, and I really, really think we're going to draft 1 or maybe even 2 Fighting Irish players this draft because of the connection with Al Golden, and especially with how in dire need our defensive line is. Our defense in general is. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Bengals Digest channel as we're on the road to 1,500. I know we can get there. All the love you guys have shown this channel, I appreciate it so much, and I can't put into words how much I do appreciate it. Like this video. Continue to share this channel with your other Bengal friends because Bengal football is better together. Comment down below what mock draft you liked the best out of the 3 I showed today, and then give me your own mock draft or who player I didn't mention that you would like Cincinnati to go after. Comment that down below. But thank you so much for watching for the Bengals Digest channel. I'm Carson Lokey. Have an amazing one, and God bless.